It's me and you. All right. So first of all, welcome everyone to the Bible Hangout. And we have been taking a study of the money poems, which was a book that was written by me and Mark Allen Felton. And I am so excited because tonight I get a chance to share with you the other half of how this whole thing came together. And I don't know where the hour is going to take us, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see what comes of it. But I am so excited to share Mark with you guys. Mark is an incredible artist, writer, businessman, entrepreneur, just absolutely amazing. Travels the world pre-COVID, but is just a thinker. And we connected through being a part of Understanding Principles, which at the time was under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Delarice Lett. And we just vibed. It was two Geminis, and it was like, hey, let's go. And so I wanted to have him here to close out this conversation on the money poems. So Mark, how you doing this evening?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited and proud of what you're doing. When you told me about the workbook, I was ecstatic, and I was like, oh my, well, I wasn't surprised because I know how you do things. So this is a wonderful opportunity and occasion to be here today with you on this show today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So tell me, Mark, what do you remember? Because this was 2007, 2008. Can you believe it was like I was living into hunger? Which is like, that feels like a whole lifetime ago. And do you remember how it came about? Because I don't 100% remember all of like what happened.
Well, I just know, when we first connected, we just had great energy that was just that you knew something had to come out of that energy.
Yes.
You knew something had to happen. So, and we would talk about ideas all the time. Matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was around the time I was doing the CD of Blessing. Was it around the time?
Yeah. So a Blessing was before then. Or right. Around that time. That's right.
Right. And you was doing some executive production, work with that. And I was like, man, this woman right here, her energy is off the charts. She has this ability to attract such good things. And she was bringing such good ideas to the project. And I was like, you know what? And then we just kept vibing so heavy. It's like, we knew that wasn't the only thing that we could do together.
Right.
That one thing.
Right.
We got to do more projects. And so we came out of that going into the money poems. That was just like, that was one of the things that just came from spirit. It just manifested between us.
So for those who don't know, one of the CDs that Mark released is called A Blessing, and it's beautiful. Where can they get this CD? Where can I get the CD?
Where can I get it? I'm playing. Everything is on Spotify, iTunes, all the digital delivery systems out there. They got a copy of it somewhere. Right, but it's all over the place.
Right. So
it's all over the place. You can just look up A Blessing by Mark Allen Felton.
Right. So I want to share that because A Blessing is like for years, and only because I got out of having a CD changer in my car was on repeat, because it's a gospel jazz. And I mean, so it's a couple of standards with the Lord's Prayer and Amazing Grace, but with that Mark Allen Felton funk that just, made it a whole thing. And I think my favorite song is The Blessing. I think that's my favorite song, The Blessing, the one with Wendy Barnes on it. So that whichever song that was,
right,
that easily is my favorite.
We had a great time.
Yes, and so
thank you. We had a great time making that record.
So I wasn't involved in that part because that was you guys.
No, but you helped bring the CD part together. I mean, the DVD part together. Right. That was when you came in at, and it was like, I mean, if I'd have known about you in that energetic type of way before, you'd have been part of that as well.
Right.
But it was just one of the things that when we connected, I was like, Sherri, like, man, Sherri just has this natural, her smile was really bright and just energy was just busting out her face. And I was like, hey, come here. We got to do something. I'm telling you, it was one of the things I was like, man. And then once I got to know you a little bit better and saw how talented you were, and I was like, man, this is a match that we got to make something out of this. And then the money poems just kind of materialized out of that. I can't remember exactly what we were doing though.
I don't either. I don't know if we were writing, because that was around the time of Up My Money.
Yes. You know what?
That's the game show that never made it, y'all.
Oh, it's gonna make it though. It's gonna make it.
So that was
I think we were talking about manifesting money.
Yes.
Yeah, we was talking about manifesting money a lot.
And it was just going back and forth. But because I don't know if we just started writing poems or like it was, gosh, I guess we should have got this together before we got online, huh?
Right. I mean, it's probably been the same thing because, what I get from that though, it was so natural. Yeah, it was so easy to do because we didn't force anything.
No.
It just came out.
No.
It was one of them situations that just happened.
Yeah. And then we wrote the poems and then we built a story around it, which is the story of Denise and her discovery of the poems. And the story is modeled on some of my experience, some of Mark's experience, and then a story that we built around it. And I have since learned that there's a whole genre of literature that is that. There's a book I'm finishing, or that I finished, called The Anatomy of Peace. That's exactly that. It's principle couched inside of a story. And what I learned, this is how dope it is. I learned, I got to share this with Mark. I learned that the way that the brain works is that the brain retains what is couched inside of a story. And so if you want people to remember something, who was it that was saying that? It was someone on a podcast. Oh boy. It was someone on a podcast, and they were saying that if you want someone to remember something, that you give it to them inside of a story. That when it's not sitting in, Charles Duhigg, he wrote The Power of Habit. And he has a book coming out about this story piece next. And he said that what he found was that the interview guests who came and just gave like, do this, that nobody wrote in about it. There was very little response to it. But when somebody came and told their story, but like taught the principle inside of a story, that was when he got all of the response. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So we were ahead of the curve and just didn't know it.
It was natural. Like I said, it was natural. We didn't have all the theory behind it, but we knew that, by having this story there, it touched us first before it touched anybody.
Absolutely.
And it was like, I was like, man, because I would read the poems all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like something that, hey, just let me get it and just keep moving. It's just like, It was touching in that way, know, and I knew it was something that was powerful that actually worked.
Right. And then Mark, you have a knack for technology. Like, I'm not a technophobe, but I'm not tech curious. Okay, so, and I think one of your gifts, one of your gifts is that you're tech curious. And so Mark built a website, y'all. It's no longer up, but it was Money Point, because I think the Money Point. Oh no, it was the Money Points because moneypoems.com was taken. And so it was the moneypoems.com, and you built the site, and he figured out the automation. And do you remember that?
Wow, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was a while ago. Matter of fact, it was so fun. I was like, we can do this. And matter of fact, the technology wasn't really developed as much then, as it is now. No. It was kind of cruel. Like, it was like, but I was determined. I was like, man, look what we can do. We can get this. We got to get this message out to everybody. And I was like, he was like, what? We're gonna do an audio book. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. It was crazy.
Yes.
But we ended up doing it too.
Yes. And so the thing is that Mark is just like that's one of his gifts. is that you will figure some stuff out. So we got the book up. It was an ebook. You probably remember that. It was an ebook that we sold for $9. I think.
$9.99, $8.99, something like that.
Something like that. And then we just pushed the book out, and then we were out supporting it, and we published it under a combination of our names, Denise Allen, which are our middle names, and put the book out.
I remember that, right? That was too funny. That was clever in its own right. But do you remember the calendars?
Oh my God, I forgot about the calendar. Yo, we got swag. Yeah. We had swag before it was even a thing. Yes. I forgot about the calendars.
We got to re-release the calendars.
Oh gosh, we had the money for
7-day calendars.
Yes. Okay, so that was 2009, and this was the height of the financial crisis when the real estate industry went upside down, entertainment shut down, and just life just turned upside down. And
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then we put it aside, put the project aside, and started focusing on other stuff. And then what made us pick it back up? Like because I think you had just kind of moved out of my life in different ways or whatever. And then we revisited it around 2015.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. 2015.
Yeah. And you know what? It was one of those things where I always felt that the information needed to be out there, and you did too as well. And it was like, that's why I was so happy to hear you teaching about it, because I knew even then it's just that we didn't market it or have it out there in a really big way, but it's great information and it just needed to be out there.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those things that you do a project for the year or something that that was cool, that it was trending and not like this. This was something that can last forever and ever and ever and ever. And I knew that, and you knew that. And it was like, we may not be messing with it right now, but we got to get this information out there.
Yeah. And so we had never published a book, like it was, meaning because we had just shared it, as an ebook. And so then we put the book together, and we actually recorded audio. So did you ever find those audio files? Hi, Shamika. Did you ever?
I know they're around here somewhere. And
you got to search one of those hard drives. I think I have the audio. I think I have the audio. So I have to take a look and see what I have access to, because I think it's in a drive or something, and I just need to move it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So we put the book out in 2017. So we revisited in 2015, but then it took another 2 years, Mark, till May 2017. Working with the editor, working with the copy editor, like cleaning up the grammar and all of that, getting it formatted and getting it published. The official publication date is May 2017.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. The thing too, I think as you began to grow, and being a pastor, a reverend, I think that you had more of a platform to speak about, the poems and everything. So I think that kind of shifted toward you talking about it more than me, because I was around playing music around everywhere and everything. And I wasn't really in that space at the time.
Where were you at, Mark? Dubai. I mean, you've been everywhere, but where were you?
I went to I think Beirut or something. I was all over the place, just traveling all over the place. And so I didn't get an opportunity.
I would call it, and you always know when there's an international number because it rings funny. and so the phone, Mark's not in the country anymore. Okay.
You're right. Yeah, that was quite amazing. Yeah, but I mean, I never forgot about the poems. I always knew that they were powerful, and I wanted to, I would use them throughout my life.
Right.
And when I heard that you did the workbook, which I had a chance to glance at a little bit, whew, look, I got to join the classes.
It's really
that's how fantastic it is.
you know what it is, like going back through it, Mark, and just revisiting the stuff that we created. Because I mean, we were not kids, but young, and just really looking to
Still
like,
young.
huh? Yeah, I'm still
Still
young.
young.
I'm timeless. I got that don't crack skin.
Right.
So,
That's
but
right.
but it was like going back through it now. I didn't even have the like all of the stuff that I've done. There's so much room or growth that I've gone through just professionally in terms of ministry, things
Mm-hmm.
that I have studied now that honestly just weren't a part of my toolkit when we were
Mm-hmm.
writing. And I think what has stayed with me more than anything else is how powerful the writing is, even before I had the foundation that I have now. And there's
Absolutely. Yeah.
simplicity, and this I got to give you credit for, because I got the vibe, the long-winded gene, but Mark would be like, no, 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 we need simple. We need
Simplified.
it's
Yeah.
simplified. And so if I had written the poems and it was just me, I don't know. But
We had a
Mark was like, no, no, no.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious up in there somewhere. We got to simplify to make it, as palatable as possible.
Right, 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 right.
But
Yeah,
the thing is, the combination worked well because the
yeah.
things that we were bringing in a combo, place, it just made it sit well. It made the poem stand out. It made it almost like it took its own form in a sense. Just because it wasn't a forced thing. It just kind of came together like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Combination was great.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited. And I just want to say, just to all the viewers and everything that, you all have a wonderful teacher, because I mean, I've watched her grow so much, and I'm really proud, and not just proud, but just excited to be a part of the journey, because it's like an honor to have being able to co-wrote something with you,
Yeah,
and do it, even all the projects we did. I mean, I just want to thank you for that opportunity, because
yeah.
it's really been a fantastic journey, and I'm looking forward to being a part of the future, and what's happening with the new workbook, and being a part
Workbook.
of the learning. And we're gonna
I,
put out the calendars and all of that stuff.
it occurred to me that we need to revisit Denise. Denise has a story.
Yes.
I was reading
Yes.
something again, like I said, there's a whole genre of literature that I didn't know about at the time, but I know now, that is built around sharing principle, but you share it inside of a story. And
Mm-hmm.
and in the share, like I said, I'm just finished, I don't have it over here, it's over on another shelf. The Anatomy of Peace. And it's literally how you get to peace. But the whole story is told inside of this family who's dealing with a son that has a substance abuse problem. And then he's been sent to this camp, and the counselors are working with the parents. And so it's a whole thing. And I was like, man, this is like the money points. This is like Denise and her brothers and the family, and so
Yeah.
going down there.
Absolutely. That's great. That's great. So now I understand that from what you've been doing, you
Mhm.
broke everything down to a 10-week course. Is that what happened?
It's a 10-week course. So we created the worksheet. So everybody who's here tonight has been helping over the course of the last 10 weeks with their questions, completing the worksheets, giving their feedback, and all of that. So it's 10 weeks of breaking down the money poems. And so
Wow.
it just goes through the book. And so every section has exercises that go with it that are just built around trying to grab onto the principles that are in the book and figure out how to put them on their feet.
Wow. Absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. Well, I'm looking forward to continuation, and being a part. Like I told you, I had to run earlier.
Yes.
So I'm
All right.
I'm always running, huh?
You
But I got
are.
a couple of things I need to take care of, but it's all good. And then definitely, and if you allow me, I would love to come back on again.
Yes, I would love to have you. Love to
And
have you.
then we can, I want to get more in depth about, some of the things that, some of the particulars about the money poem. So you know, we can expound on it. But maybe by that time we have the calendars, maybe, you know, printed, ready to go, design. We don't know.
Oh, you
Maybe
never
by
know.
that time.
T-shirts,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Bugs. Hey.
never know. Yeah.
All right, Mark. Thank you
Well, I appreciate you.
so
Thank you
much.
very much. And everybody, I see you guys soon. Thank you very much for having me. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of it.
All right. God bless.
All right, guys. All right. So this was a just a wonderful, I'm so glad he got a chance to be here. I want to open the floor up. I really want to get your feedback. So I want to do today a little bit different than we've done the last like couple of weeks. I really want to get to like questions because I want this to serve and I want this to really support your spiritual growth. I was reading my impact statement, and I'll share it with you. This is something I read for myself. This is my vision for impact. I am committed to living an extraordinary life of impact. I am committed to giving generously and sharing my gifts and talents with the world on an international stage. I am one of God's builders. I build people who build great things. I change communities of color through my example and my direct efforts. I am a change agent for good. So, with that in mind, I just want to open the floor and really, you can ask about the money poems or the writing process or just anything, but I really want to open this up because I want to support your growth. I want to support your expansion. In my mind, what we're doing on Thursday nights really doesn't make any sense unless it is expanding you and unless it is growing you. And so with that in mind, the floor is open. And while you are getting your questions or your comments or anything that you want to share together, I want to also let you know that I want to talk about the spiritual practice. I always want to give you a spiritual practice to round out your experience. Let me say first that the reason that spiritual practice is so important is because it's the way that you get what's in you out into expression is through your daily practices, through the things that you do on a daily basis, that they develop you, they sharpen you and form you into who you are. And so by tweaking your spiritual practice, it's like tweaking the seed. If anybody cooks, you know that the right dash of one thing or the wrong dash of another can completely change the recipe. And so it's the same thing with you, that if you think of yourself as a recipe, and so these daily practices are like the recipe that you're getting together, and the result, well, not so much a dish, but the result is you coming out into expression. And so the practice that I want to encourage you to pick up is the practice of giving. If you look at if anybody's done therapy or any form of, group therapy or whatever, there is always some element or assignment that the therapist will give you that often involves giving in some way to someone else. And what you give makes it does something to you, and it leaves an impression in you that shifts you positively. So you feel good when you do something as simple as give advice. But making giving a practice, and systematic giving a practice, is a healing thing that you can do for yourself to help you expand into your higher self. And so one of the ways that I do that is that I will either do a gift or a note, and I try to send a note or a gift or something to the people in my life who are making a difference and whose gift in the form of their time, their talent, their treasure, or whatever is making a difference for me. And so, and that could also be a compliment. It's like, you know what? Every day I send out 20 compliments. Every day I write a certain number of thank you letters. I'm not saying that I do this. I'm telling you that these are potential ways to get it done. But the practice that I've been forming is that every week now something goes out, whether it's a gift. Last week I gave 2 mugs to 2 friends who had been really kind to me and helpful to me. This week I've got some things that I'm going to give to the people that I work with at Up Church, just to say thank you for the give that they are giving to the vision that God gave me for this ministry. And it's just expanding it, because again, it's when you give, giving opens you up. Here you go, babe. Here you go. Say hi since you're coming over and interrupting. This is the haircut, y'all. All right, goodbye. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw on Facebook the haircut story, but the haircut happened. It had to happen. I couldn't keep the little boy curls anymore. They were gone. So anyway, the giving, what giving does is that it literally expands you. And there's something that happens, because inherent in a give is the understanding on a gut level that you have something to give. And so it's powerful in the sense that it leaves an erasable, is that a word? Unmovable mark on the subconscious that you have something to give. And when you think about building a consciousness of abundance, one of the things that makes abundance so difficult to manifest, if it's not manifesting in your experience, is the belief that you have. And so here is a way, without verbal affirmation, that you can literally communicate to the subconscious mind that I have something to give. And you do that by simply giving. So that is my share for this week for the spiritual practice. So my question to you, to everyone, is what were your takeaways from this time that we have had together? What has changed for you? What has gotten better for you? If you had to rate it, on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of spiritual growth, where would you land? Maybe that's a good place to start. From what we've done together on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best with no improvement available, and 1 being, this didn't really do anything for me. Where would you place it? And you can unmute yourselves, or you can put it in the chat.
Hi, Reverend Sherri. Let me say, first of all, this is not my first time with the money poems. And as I told you, I thought it was a real story. And I know you said it wasn't, but to me, it's still a real story. I'm not going to accept anything but that, because I love the story. Yeah, I'm a storyteller, I'm a story watcher. So it's going to be a story. And I certainly want to know what Denise is doing next. I just want to know. So that's how I'm going to deal with it. And tell Mark.
I want to know what Denise is doing next.
Yeah, right. So you and Mark can't tell me anything different. I'm not going to accept it. It's definitely a real story. What I need to work on with me is my consistency with my daily practice, because I know I know the spiritual laws. I know what you're saying, and honestly, I remember years ago I had a minister say, you don't need to worry, talking about me, about what the future is. We have to work on you dealing with the present. And so that's what I have to constantly come back and make myself deal with, my consistency with doing my morning routine and doing what I need to do in the evening. But let me underline, I know for a fact, as I used to say, you can get this money back guarantee, that when you give, you get. It is no question. and you get what you give.
Yep.
So, if you really want abundance in your life, you have got to give money. I mean, it's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You cannot
get what you want to receive. Yes.
That's it. You have got to do it. And I'm telling you, I know it works. I mean, I have seen you give and it comes back to you multiplied. It really does.
Yes, yes.
So I've enjoyed, every time I deal with anything with Up Church, it's just more and more and more. And as I like to say, it gets better and better. Mm-hmm. So I truly enjoyed the Bible Hangout. The only thing, honestly, that I miss, and I know it's your time, I miss our prayer calls. Girl, those are some powerful things. I'm telling you. Girl, we would put something in that prayer call and come out, and it would just be magical.
It sure would. You are absolutely right. I have to figure that one out. I have to figure that one out, because prayer is, there is no life without prayer. Ain't no such thing. There ain't no such thing. So I have to figure out if I can support a group, maybe not as frequent as weekly. Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Well, I'm waiting on the workbook. Yeah.
It's coming. It comes out. I have everything, and as long as, I was joking, Mark is tech curious, but that also means I'm working on his timeline to get all the tech stuff right. And I'm like, just put it out there. Let's get it. Let's go. Let me ask you this question. What do you do every day? Meaning any habit. It doesn't have to be a spiritual habit.
Well, I've gotten in the habit of always starting my day by reading something positive. Okay. And if I don't do anything, I make sure I read the daily inspiration. Mm-hmm. And I have to, just stop for a minute and just say, it is so interesting how I first got involved with the daily inspiration. Oh my goodness, back in, I guess it was like in 1990 something, when they started the church in Baltimore.
Yes.
And they were doing a fundraiser. And for $100, if you, it was either $100 or $200. And during that time, it wasn't a lot, but it was a little bit. Yeah. You would get a lifetime subscription to the daily inspiration. Wow. And people were saying, oh, I said, you know what? Yeah, I want to help the church plus. And I mean, literally, I have had a lifetime subscription to the daily inspiration. So, that was just putting it forward. That was just wonderful. But I always do that. So I start my day with something, spiritual. And I try, and I don't do it as consistent as I want. And that's what I want to work on. Mm-hmm. I want to start writing my my impact statement, my inspiration daily. So, because when we were doing that in the, with May McCarthy, that book, when we did that, I'm telling you, every single thing I wrote down happened. Yeah. And so it works. It really does.
It does.
And like Johnny said, it works if you work it.
It works if you work it. So something you could do, I was trying to get at a different habit, like brushing your teeth or something like that. So one of the things you could do is, first of all, make it a tiny habit.
Okay.
Right? So the tinier, the better. And then tie it to something that you already do every day. So for example, I go to sleep every day. Mm-hmm. Silly, but it's true. I go to sleep every day. So before I go to bed, I do I don't do it now because I have a longer workout, but I would do the 2 sit-ups and the 2 push-ups. So it was tied to going to bed. So I might not get to it through the whole day, like, because I didn't anchor it to going to bed, but I knew before I go to bed that was happening. So it tied it. But another person, they said when after they were trying to build a habit of flossing, but they couldn't just bring themselves to floss the whole mouth. So they said, okay, every time I brush my teeth, which is twice a day, I'm going to floss 1 tooth.
Oh, okay.
And so that was so that was considered success. Now, generally what was happen is that they floss one and then they go ahead and floss the rest of the mouth. But success was the one tooth. And then they raised it to 2 teeth, and then they raised it to 3 teeth. And then pretty soon they had the habit. So when you're trying to install a habit, frequency is more important than intensity. And sometimes where we run into walls with installing a habit is that we're trying to do too much before the capacity has been built for what it is that we're trying to do. And so the writing, so the journaling could be, every time there's a period, I'm assuming, there's a period of time where you prepare the food, you got to let it cook, and then before you can actually take it out of the pot and eat it, right?
Right.
That's the journaling window.
Okay.
So every time I prepare my meal, I have my journal, I sit down at the table, I got to let it cook for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, or it's in the microwave for however long. And I sit down and I journal for that length of time. And then that's my journaling habit. And that's considered success. And that it's a micro habit, right? But you're not worried about size right now. What you're worried about now is installing the habit.
Okay. Consistency. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea.
You want to go small. You want to go small.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Love you.
Love you too. Thank you. Shamika. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
I don't really know what to say. So much. I guess you asked on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm gonna say 10. I mean, yeah, because
I'll accept the 10, but I always know that there's room to grow.
Well, but see, so what was the question? If our experience,
yes,
right? But I feel like, yes, there's always room to grow, I'm sure, for like what you want to put out. But my experience has been so, like, I love the word magical, okay? It has been just so.
That's Dr. Brenda's word too.
Oh, it's okay, Dr. Brenda? Yes. I love that word, man. It has just been so magical, and like just having a place to come, and whether I come like via Zoom or to see you on YouTube, to come and to be just reminded that the work we're doing, the faith that we have, it's not just something that's just like, that's delusional,
right?
It's not, it's a real thing that has real effects.
Yeah.
Right. So to be gathered with a group of people that can help to affirm and to kind of witness that with me, and to share their experiences, it has been really great. And to see the synchronistic ways in which, I might, in my meditation for the day, in my journaling, I'm talking to God alone about something, right? And sure enough, somewhere in the day, most of the time here, when I come here, it's, you didn't said it. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful way in which that happens.
Yeah.
And it just, it re-inspires and just reminds you that, to stay with it.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed, I think just also your commitment to doing this, for the amount of years that you've been doing it. Something about your commitment is very inspirational to me. And that's something that I have been learning as I've been growing spiritually. And I think it was last week's lesson was the consistent persistence, right? Like that is the ticket. Do something consistently. And I feel like that is where magic happens. So like even doing the taking on the exercises, right? Taking on the, even though I might have like a little bit of resistance, like, oh God, I don't know if I can really do it. But somehow I do it, like the commercial, right? And I had heard you talk about this in previous Bible Hangouts, but to be here and have you talk about it again, it was like, okay. And to actually see the workbook example, it was like, okay, you can do it, just start out. So I've really been enjoying doing that. And then today was the final day of the
7 days.
25 things.
Yes.
Well, no, 7 days of gratitude, final day for that too, right? That was really great and interesting, powerful as well. And then the 25 days of doing something to change your energy in terms of prosperity. And so what I've found is that just having a goal to commit to for growth, therein lies the foundation for some magical transformation. And so I really enjoyed that.
Thank you for that. Thank you. You know, one of the things, I can say this on this call, but I would say it anywhere. I have this conversation. It's not a theory, but no, it's not a theory. That the social ills of this world, so by whatever you put that in there, they work only because of the habits that we have. So someone who is a friend, got into the habit of, when she bought her first car, she started paying for it, auto paying for it. Like she put it on auto pay. That's the word, can't get the word right. She put it on auto pay. Once she paid it off, she never stopped putting that amount of money aside. And then subsequently, she's bought every other car cash. So the social ill of discriminatory lending because of the color of your skin, she's just not available for. And I am convinced, as Paul would say, I am persuaded that there are habits that can be developed that make you immune to the ignorance of others and immune to the social ills. And so this daily habit is so powerful. Its application is far reaching, and to get it is to revolutionize your life. And for those who follow you, because all of you are leaders, it revolutionizes everybody that you're connected to. It's that fire. Like it's that you're just not available. Because I have to be on the dance floor with you in the discrimination ring in order for the discrimination to happen. But if I get off the floor, you out there just dancing by yourself. So I think that I love that you're sticking with this. And my challenge to you is to just keep it up, because where it has the ability to take you is just like, it's unbelievable.
And I set my jars up, okay? So I'll hit you back when I get my million and my billion, okay?
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let me say something about that, because I really want to drive that home. And for those who may be watching this for the first time, we're talking about the 6-jar system inspired by Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. So money responds to intention, and it's intention in your word, and it's also intention in your behavior. And so when you have those set up, that essentially what you're doing is that you're giving every job $1. Now, the truth is that every job in your life already has $1, but many times we're not present to the jobs that we've given those dollars. Meaning that so when I first started doing this exercise, at first you have to figure out like where the money is going. And I found out that the money was going to fast food. I don't even like fast food at all. Like I have a thing against fast food for a few reasons. One, it's only in certain neighborhoods and it ain't in Beverly Hills. And I'm like, well, if y'all ain't eating it, I'm not eating it. So that's one thing. So then the second thing is that, it's just not healthy for you. So I found out that I had money going to fast food. I wasn't buying it for myself, but I was buying it for Jordan. And it was specific times. It was Friday evenings when at the end of the week, and I was just exhausted. And it was Sundays, because we would have this long day. We would start in the morning, Bible class, church, another Bible class. And then, so by the time the evening got here, it was like, let's just run through McDonald's. Well, at that time in my life, there was no room for a McDonald's budget. But the way that I was living, I wasn't present to how that money was leaking out of my experience. The other thing I found out is that I had an Amazon habit. And so there was regularly $300 or more going to Amazon. It was like, girl, well, no wonder this is so hard to pay all the time, because your money went to McDonald's and Amazon. Like, so what I find is that many times our dollars have jobs that we didn't know we assigned them, or we weren't noticing that we assigned them. And with the 6-jar system, it helps you get intentional about every dollar. And that is, well, money responds to intention. So, oh, thank you for that. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Rashi, what about you, Miss Rashi?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
What was the question, Sherri?
Just what has this been for you? How has this supported you?
Well, every week I've been learning something new to at least try. You know, start off little by little and see where it takes me.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I have like a heavy morning thing that I do. I'm actually, when I start working or whatever, I'm probably gonna have to break it down. But right now I have time, so I can do as long as I want to. But I'm working on what's really important to me to get done in the morning, and then when at night, I read a lot, and I kind of like I'm just like making adjustments in my life, and it has make a big difference. But at this point, I spend a lot of time by myself, and this is the crazy thing. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much that I'm like, oh boy, I have to go out into the market and stuff. I'm like, but you know, I'm more chill and relaxed, and I can go out and not be bothered. You know, just nothing really phases me anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody says, oh, they're coming from me online. I'm like, oh, that's okay. You know, I'm like, they're looking at me like, wow, okay. So I'm like, it's all good. It's just really fun. It's a fun time for me at this point.
Good, 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 good. What would you say is your biggest takeaway from this time that we've spent with the money poems?
Well, you know, again, it's going back to the consistency. It doesn't matter it's starting off. You got to start. Otherwise, you're not going to make any type of moves. So it's just starting something, just at least start and give yourself a little by little, like you said, floss one tooth, then next week do 2 teeth, then just keep on keeping on, keep movement, keep and you know, and then you subtract the negative and add to the positive.
Yeah. Powerful.
Thank you so much. And the whole entire group. I mean, everybody adds something so beautiful to it, and it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashi. Thank you. Miss Erlene, I know you got the kids over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a 2-year-old to go make up his bed, but he said the cover's too heavy. But the one thing that I got the most of, because I've had the book for a while, and I've bought it for so many other people, but consistency is the thing.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And I am more consistent right now because my picking up that book, I was in a class where they were writing poems, and they wanted us to I sound out of breath because I just ran upstairs, but they wanted us to pick out some books that were poems that were written by people, and your book was the first one I picked up. And then your class started the same day.
Oh, wow.
It was like, okay. this is meant to be.
Yes.
So I started reinforcing it.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, I've had a birthday, and I got so much birthday money. I've never had a birthday with that much money. Okay.
Wow. That's
Kids,
awesome.
grandkids, everybody. Instead of bringing 50s, they were bringing 100s and 600s and 700s and stuff like that.
Wow.
It was just amazing. It was just truly amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm starting Breland on it again, she and one of her friends. And I'm looking forward to a lot of good. Just, I know prosperity is more than money.
Yes.
So I'm looking for doors to be open for the business that I'm working toward.
Yes.
It just gives me, and I have a morning practice in place, and the Lenten experience has really helped even bring that to a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
But I also include my money poems during that time that I'm doing my morning practice.
Beautiful. I love that you said that. The one of my goals for the church, I'm actually going to be putting together a survey to go out, is that everyone have a daily spiritual practice. Now, I recommend a morning practice because I believe that you have, what is it, between 60 and 80,000 thoughts that you think during the day.
Yes.
And so I want to condition that bag of thoughts before I get going. Before I get out the door, I want to do something about the bag of thoughts that I will be sowing throughout the day. So that's why I advocate a morning practice. In fact, this is going back to what Shamika, well, everybody's talked about the consistency piece, that what got me locked into the morning was the understanding that I had that 60 to 80,000 thoughts. Like by the end of the day, some kind of garden has been planted. And the question is, what kind of garden will you plant? Not if you're going to plant a garden. What kind of garden will you plant? And once I got present to that, then it became a non-negotiable. I have to figure out how to.
And another thing I noticed for myself, I'm not in the workforce right now because I'm on furlough. So I don't have as many people to talk to as I used to. But when I talk to people, what comes out of me is a stronger spiritual, just it. One girl said, stop, I need to get some note paper and take notes while you're talking.
Yes.
But it's just amazing. It flows from you because it's all in you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's really it. It's just to continue to pour that cup, or fill the cup. Shouldn't even say pour, fill the cup. Miss Claudette or Miss Gloria, I don't want to miss you guys.
The money poems I had from a class before, and I just love the book. And this has been so life-changing for me. And when you talked about your schedule and being accountable, it's made me more accountable and putting myself on a schedule. And it's really helped a lot. And I'm using this time to do research and study new things. So it's just motivated me to be more positive. And also I plan to get a treadmill, and when I'm on the treadmill, I plan to do my abundance affirmations. So I just love the class, and it's life-changing, and I can see myself being more positive. So I really thank you. Every Thursday night I look forward to the class.
Thank you. I look forward to hanging out with you guys too. Thank you so much. And I want to encourage you, you can do those affirmations before that treadmill shows up.
That's true.
I don't want you to wait.
Right, right.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Claudette, what about you?
Reverend Sherri has been very, very inspirational, but also an eye opener, especially the input and the output. But it's changed me. I have to. Someone was saying they talk to their friends, and sometimes I can't believe what comes out of my mouth to help other people. I just can't. It amazes me.
Yes.
But that's a gift that I'm using.
Yes.
Believe it or not, every day I still write my letter to the CSO.
As do I, every morning. Yes.
And I'm even doing the exercise. If I started 2 push-ups or 2 sit-ups, I'm doing that. And so it's been really great, really, really fantastic. And it's your energy also. Your energy is phenomenal. Okay, thank you. So I give you a 10, but I know you're okay. All right, thank you so much.
I accept that. I tell you, I love doing this and I love sharing this, and I build people who build great things. And so my expectation is that you build great things, whether that's great families, whether that's a great career, whether that's a great business, whatever that is, that my intention is to give the best information that I know to you in the best way. So that's why I said I learned the other day, this was something from Charles Duhigg that put it in a story. So I'm gonna do a much better job of like couching this information in stories, because the mind needs stories. And well, I'm thinking about if I can find it immediately while he said it, because I thought it was so powerful. Because he was answering the question of like what he learned in his work. So the person, the interviewer asked him, they said, what's the problem you're trying to solve? And he said, there's 2. And he said, so the new book I'm going to write is about communication and understanding why we have trouble communicating sometimes. And then the other thing I'm trying to solve is how can you tell really great stories without the telling time being so intensely time consuming. There's all these great podcasts out there. They're like 10 episodes a year. Oh, that's not what I want to get to. Anyway, the point is that what he's talking about is that the way that we learn, the way that we take in information is that having it inside of a story. And so I took that to heart as a teacher and as a communicator. And so that's something that I want to bring more to you, because these principles work and they help Johnny build the massive, I'm even a minister because Johnny was a minister, in the sense that there would have been no organization to walk into had she not said yes when it was her turn to do this work. And so I'm interested in sharing this with you, because I know that this works. I know that this makes a difference. And the more that I can help you bring this into your experience as a living experience and as a everyday reality, that it's going to be revolutionary. And again, I build people who build great things, and you guys are people who build great things. So I thank you so much for being here this evening. I want to say thank you to my co-author, Mark Allen Felton. I cannot wait to bring him back and share some more with you. And you haven't seen us in our element, because it is a chemistry that is just powerful, and tonight didn't quite capture that magic the way that I wanted it to, but I want you guys to experience him, because his art is amazing, absolutely amazing. And so I love and appreciate you. I want to remind you, we don't have class next week because I am instituting a new spiritual practice for me, which is a think week. So I'm taking the week off to just think. So that's the whole goal of next week. And the hardest thing for me is going to be not working. That's going to be the hardest thing, because the condition is to run, get on the treadmill and go. But I'm actually going to take the week off and decompress and then let the Spirit feed me. And we'll be back on the 8th. We will start with Proverbs. I just got my Anchor Bible commentary on Proverbs. So that came. And so I'm really excited. We're going to go from the Proverbs 1 all the way to 31. So I look forward to doing that deep dive, and we'll talk about the metaphysics of the text. There's no text to buy. I'm going to provide all the worksheets and everything for you. So, you just come with an open heart. And so we're going to, if you've been wondering how to do metaphysical Bible interpretation, we'll cover some of that in the next quarter. And yeah, that's it.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I want to make sure I don't give you a 10, I give you a 20, because you and the team have changed my life so much, and I so appreciate you. Yeah, and you open doors for me to many other, other different learnings and different things to be open and receptive. And I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rashi. Thank you. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 2 weeks. I'll see you on April 8th. All right. Good night, everybody.